It's Jayo Stole Sports. My guy Jay Lynch is here. Another
Back
week,
again.
more football. Last night was absolutely brazy. Overtime win for the Falcons, a team you said is not going to make the playoffs. They're 3-2 now. How about that performance by Kirk Cousins, though?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about that performance. I can't lie. And really and truly, I like Tampa in that game. And at the end of the day, it looked like Tampa was going to be the victors. But then Kirk, just got in his bag.
Kirk Chang.
Bangs, you like that. You gotta like that because he was delivering darts and really he doesn't move off his spot.
Uh,
He just sits in shotgun,
yeah,
just
yeah.
sits back and then just delivers darts all over the field.
Hmm.
I really wasn't expecting this out of Kirk Cousins, especially in these primetime games, right? We've seen Atlanta in multiple primetime games so far, and Kirk has fared well, They always say primetime Kirk is a recipe for a disaster, but it's not looking like that
No
case now.
more. No
Um,
more. He's
500
lifted
yards, 509
500.
yards. Yeah, that's crazy. 500 passing yards. Yeah, honestly,
Four
it
TDs.
four TDs. Yeah, he has this Atlanta offense looking like a different offense for sure.
Mhm.
Like he's getting the receivers involved. Mooney's going off. Drake London had 12 catches on 13 targets. Like
Yep.
again, I'm still gonna hold my stance that this Falcons team is not gonna make the playoffs.
Sheesh.
Even though I mean, Jesse Bates was making plays on defense too. Like they're a pretty well-rounded team,
Yeah.
and they got two big divisional wins back
Hmm.
to back. Beat
Hmm.
the Saints last minute field goal by Koo,
Yeah.
and then they force overtime and then walk off touchdown to win that game against Tampa. That's two huge wins right there. So um, they're doing what they had to do, to be honest. And then they lead the division now, I believe, or they're tied with Tampa. But
Mhm.
again, it's early in the season. Kirk is doing well, but that's and I don't know how many dome games they have, but when he has to go outside and it gets cold and he's
But
taking
but but
hits,
but hold on. He played in the NFC North. Chicago's cold.
100%. That was
Green Bay is
pre Achilles
cold.
tear. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean,
you
I
seeing
I
how he's moving now in the pocket. Like he does not move. Like he snaps it, hands it off, or he snaps it and he throws it. Like he doesn't move left or
but that's
right.
not his game to move like that. That's not his
Yeah,
game.
100%. It's not his game, but he's gonna have to eventually move off the spot. Who knows? Like the line, I guess, is protect him and creating that pocket. But when we get outside and like look at when they played the Steelers, right? A team with a defense that'll move him off his spot. He's terrible.
That's his
So
first game. That's his first game as a Falcon, though. This is his
no,
first.
yeah, yeah. You have a lot of excuses for Kirk. It's all right, but I'm
Because
telling
I'm
you
tight.
right
Because
now.
I'm tight. I respect the man's game. I'm tight because I didn't start him last night. I
Damn,
didn't
that's
start him on
crazy.
my fantasy last night.
How
If
much
I
he put up?
started
He
him,
put up a 40
whoever
ball?
started Kirk Cousins last night already won.
He put up a 40 ball?
He put up a 42 ball. He put up a
Jeez.
42 or 44 ball, one of those.
That's
And I
crazy.
didn't start him because it was prime time. But now, after what he did to Eagles, after what he did last night, the curse has been lifted. I know this guy could play in prime time now. This guy's thrown for 500 yards.
Yeah.
He's the first quarterback ever to throw for 450 for three different teams. Did it with Vikings, did it with Redskins, did it with Falcons now. This guy
Hmm.
can play. Let
Yeah.
me ask you this. Is he top 10? Because he's top 10. He's
He's
top
not top
10.
10.
He is top 10.
We can't put that on him right now.
What? He's top 10, bro. Kirk
No,
Cousins
no,
is a
no.
top 10
He,
quarterback. Look
again,
at those.
we can't live in the moment too much, right?
No,
I understand. I
new team doing this
understand.
new team?
I understand it's early. We're 5 weeks in.
Oh,
Take time, all right?
no,
We
there's
know who the
no
Falcons are. They're the hardest team to bet against and the hardest team to bet
that
for.
that
That's a
that
fact.
that yes.
So
Yes.
again, congratulations. Again, I still hold my stance. I haven't wavered yet. I'm not going to change my opinion. No playoffs for the Atlanta Falcons. I'm
That is
calling that
wild.
now. 3-2
Anyways,
doesn't matter.
no, but here's the thought though. Mike Evans got 100 TD. Guy's a beast. First ballot Hall of Famer, no questions, does everything the right way. Like a guy we're gonna talk about later on in the show, the Davante Adams, he has trade talk to his name. Look how many bad seasons Evans has had. And never once has he been outspoken, has he bashed the organization. Just first class citizen, man. That's a guy that, yes, he's not as flashy. Yes, he's not a diva, but he gets the damn job done,
Yeah.
and the fruits of his labor are paying off. I want to just ask you, does he have a better resume than Davante Adams?
Oh, Davante Adams, eh? I mean, if we're looking at consistency and championships, like, you know what I mean? Mike Evans got one with Tom Brady,
Yep.
so you got to give him that.
Mm-hmm.
Davante Adams, he didn't get one with Rodgers,
Mm-mm.
no, right? So
Oh,
he has a trophy every year. Mike
every
Evans putting up 1,000 yards. Davante Adams' his numbers are great too, but
hmm
I just think what Mike Evans is doing with what he's been dealt with in terms of quarterbacks.
Oh
Like,
man,
yes, he had Tom Brady that one year, but like other than that, it hasn't been the greatest. But he's still delivered time in and time out.
over and over.
Devontae Adams, we see him in Las Vegas right now, where he's not in a situation that favors him. He doesn't have a guy like Aaron Rodgers throwing him the ball, and it doesn't look too good. He had a great season last year. He still went for what 1,200 yards, but
Hey,
look at the product right now. Like Mike Evans is on the field regardless of what's going on around him, and he delivers. He puts up his 1,000 yards, and he gets close to 10 touchdowns every year.
keeps it moving.
Yeah.
Well,
So I think I gotta. It's tough, but
it's
because of
so
the
tough,
name, right?
bro.
It's tough, but you gotta lean to Mike Evans. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
I I agree with that, and I kind of look at it like a Peyton Manning, Aaron Rodgers.
Mm,
Yes, Davante Adams is probably a better route runner, probably more skilled, but Davante Adams has everything you want. I
yeah.
mean, Mike Evans has everything you want.
Yeah.
He has that chip consistently getting 1K yards. And it's like Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning consistently getting you the MVPs, consistently first team all pro, has two chips, 55 touchdowns in a season, still hasn't been broken.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is probably it's better to watch him. He does rolls out, throws the ball 60 yards. But Peyton Manning, he's changing plays from line of scrimmage. He's doing
Hmm.
this. So I think that's like a fair comparison. But yeah, I want to talk to you about Davante. Where do you think he should go? Because we've seen many star players request a trade, and they're gonna get traded, man. It is what
Yeah.
it is. They're gonna get traded. If a star player wants out, he's gonna get his way. But I'm not a fan of Antonio Pierce liking these posts on Instagram or X. That's a
Yeah.
bit childish to me. I feel like
Hmm.
there's many coaches that wouldn't go that route or don't
Yeah.
even have social media. I just think it's like, come on, you're a new coach, just respect your best player. Didn't like that.
100%. 100%. Yeah, I don't like what's going on in Las Vegas, especially with Antonio Pierce. I feel like he might be losing that team slightly, but
Mm.
again, if I would compare it to anything, Antonio Pierce just he seems like Eric Ten Hag in a way where he's just so ignorant in
Mm.
his way and he's stuck in his way, right? So he's gonna do his things his way, regardless of what's going on around him, regardless of the players or what they want, what they request. He's gonna do
Yeah.
his way, and he's gonna be ignorant. So like Antonio Pierce doing all these little gestures here and there and saying all these things in the media, like it doesn't help his cause and it doesn't help him be that player coach. Last year, we looked at Tanner Pierce as like a player coach, you know, guys wanted
Yes.
to play for him, right? And he really brought that energy out of them. Put
But how
people
long
there
does that
smoking
last, though?
cigars and everything in the change room, but how long does that last? You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it seems like it's not gonna last too long because again, he has his best players upset at him. He has guys like Max Crosby, yes, dealing with injuries, but Max Crosby sometimes would play through the injuries. Same thing with Davante Adams. But now they're just like, you know what? Like, I don't feel like it. So let me just sit out.
Yeah.
Right?
I feel
So
like, but like, do you see him reuniting with Aaron Rodgers? Because I look at it like it kind of it's like it's been foreshadowed if you watch the receiver.
100%.
Davante Adams been saying,
Yeah.
bro, I continue playing with these scrubs, Gardner Minshew, Jarrett Stidham, Aiden McConnell. I'm gonna cut my lifespan short. These guys are throwing this guy hospital balls. Why would you want to play for that? Why would you want to
100%.
put your career on the line, your life on the line? And there was even a time where he's like, with Rodgers was injured last year, but they were speaking before the game. He's like,
Hmm.
"Yo, man, I needed that."
Yeah.
Kind of sounded like a gal too. Like, "Yo, bro, like, they went out to eat or something." Man's like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
needed that." Like,
Yeah.
regardless of where I'm going with this is he is a great player. We just mentioned him and Mike Evans. Yes, they are right there with each other. But he's missing something that Mike Evans has, and it's that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think he reunites with Aaron Rodgers. Give it one last shot. You don't know
Yeah.
what Aaron Rodgers is gonna do. You know what I'm saying? He goes on darkness retreats. So
Yeah. Yeah.
this can be his last year.
Yeah.
We don't know. The guy is super unpredictable. And not only will one guy be able to punk Robert Saleh, but you'll have two guys be able to punk Robert Saleh now. So I think
Yeah.
it makes sense. This is a team that can't score. They just scored 9 points against the Broncos.
Yeah.
And Brees Hall was playing. Garrett
Yeah.
Wilson was playing.
Yeah, it makes sense in an NBA fantasy type
Mm.
realm, 100% with NBA around the corner. But really and truly, like, I don't know if it will work out. Like, I think it would be better if Davante Adams takes his talents to either play with that guy, Patrick Mahomes, or
But
Lamar Jackson.
but you have to realize, is a team gonna send him into the division? That just doesn't make sense.
If if
You
if
can't do
the
that.
if you
You
so if they get that pick, that third
no
round
way.
pick, second round pick,
You can't be
going
that fried. Trading him in division to the best player in the world?
Yeah,
No
yeah.
way.
And the with the rivalry there, yeah, the Vegas Raiders would look nuts. So I can't see it, even though
No way.
the Chiefs desperately need a receiver with
Yeah.
Rashid Rice going down, and they have a rookie receiver in Worthy. There's not much around there, and Travis Kelce's clearly on the decline.
Yeah.
So if
There's no
they want that three-peat, this is the moves they have to make. You know what I mean?
I look at I agree the Ravens sound like a team that he can go to, but I think a team in that same division, the AFC North, I think the Steelers, man. You have a grown up as
Mm,
a coach in Mike
yeah,
Tomlin there. Justin Fields is emerging. He just had a 300-yard passing game.
yeah,
And the perfect guy to learn from Davante Adams is a guy like George Pickens.
100%.
George Pickens is a perfect guy to learn from a guy like Davante Adams, and he's already
But
went from one thing in his.
Davante Adams doesn't want Justin Fields throwing the ball. That's the thing.
I agree. I
He wants
agree.
a quarterback that can, deliver and he can work off of.
But he also wants a coach that knows how to
Yeah.
coach. He also wants a coach that has Super Bowl experience.
Hmm.
So I think that that really makes sense him to the Steelers.
Yeah.
But we at the end of the day, we gotta wait and see. He's
Yeah.
gonna
I
get
mean,
traded.
I feel like we're close though. I feel like the
Yeah.
AFC North is the destination. It's either the Steelers or the Ravens,
Yeah.
or who knows? Maybe he ends up with his best friend in Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers, we'll see how he fares in London this weekend,
Hmm.
going against this undefeated Vikings team. So he might want to take a second guess on that one for sure.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And you spoke about Rashid Rice going down. That's just like with a guy that is such a genius, a guy that is unquestionably a Mount Rushmore quarterback. How do you do something that foolish? That is just the dumbest thing you can do. Tackle without looking. He has his back turned and he injures his best receiver. First of all, these guys don't learn how to tackle. They don't practice tackling. Quarterbacks don't practice tackling. Just let the guy go.
Hmm.
And guess what? You're not gonna get benched because you didn't show any effort. You're the
No,
quarterback
you're
of the
Patrick
franchise.
Mahomes,
Patrick
not just the
Mahomes,
quarterback. You're Patrick
Patrick Mahomes is
Mahomes.
wilding for that.
Yeah, he is. He is. He's having too much fun out there.
There's no need for that. First of all, that pick was stupid.
Yeah,
And then you make it 10 times worse and injure the guy.
yeah.
If I'm Rasheed Rice's girl, I'm blasting Brittany Mahomes. I'm blasting Patrick Mahomes. Come on. This
Yeah,
guy's been cooking.
yeah,
Rasheed
he's
Rice
been
has been
cooking. So,
cooking.
like honestly, I'm glad it happened, but I'm not. Of course, it's kind of bittersweet, but just from a fantasy point of view, because I was so tight. I'm like, yo, Rasheed Rice, he's supposed to get suspended. That was the whole reason why his stock dropped.
Uh,
And then like you
uh,
see him get picked up, and then he's going off the first 4 weeks. And you're like, damn, yo. But then he gets hurt, so it's like, all right, well,
Well, X, you know X already. X is blowing up his spot.
yeah, for
X is
sure.
blowing up his spot saying, "Oh, you shouldn't have been playing in the first place. This is what you get." You know how X is.
Facts. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I feel bad.
yeah,
But Patrick Mahomes needs to know better.
for sure.
That's sad, man. That's sad. Do you see the Chiefs three-peating now? And
Ugh.
that's if Davante is not there.
Yeah,
Like I can't
100%.
see Davante going there. If they don't get Davante, are they three-peating
Yeah. My
without Rice?
problem is it's so hard to tell because if we look back to last year, they were a team that didn't look like they were going to three-peat, especially looking at the first 5 weeks. They
Mm,
were a team that was struggling and then somehow figure it out at the tail end of the season. And then it's 3, 4 games, and that's the Super Bowl. And
mm,
that's what the Chiefs have done for the past 2 years. And it's hard for me to say that they won't do it a third year. So again, for me, Chiefs are still the favorites in my eyes because I know what Patrick Mahomes done
mm,
does when it comes to the playoffs.
mm.
So I still have them three-peating despite everything that's going on. They're gonna sign some receiver down the road or something like that, and then the receiver's just gonna go off. Who knows? Now look, Juju Smith-Schuster is gonna start balling.
I hate to see it, but I know it's gonna happen. And then eventually Hollywood Brown is gonna come back too, right? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
yeah, eventually. Who knows if it's second half of the season or if it's for playoffs, but eventually he'll come back and Mahomes still showed you what he can do. He didn't get flustered. He still threw that dime to Worthy. Yeah, so
You know
it
what I
is what it
mean?
is. Kelsey eventually has to get going, even though he's on the decline, but
Eventually. Just one game,
eventually,
2 games. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I look at it like, yeah, give these guys time, but I it's hard to not bet. Like they're defending two-time defending champs. You bet against them, you look stupid, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been through adversity before. So yeah, that's just how it goes. I gotta ask you something about an
Hmm.
owner who didn't go for Derrick Henry and is probably not gonna go for Davante Adams, but just the aura, the audacity the guy has. What do you gotta say about this guy landing his helicopter on the Cowboys practice field while practice is going on? What's that about?
You know how he is, man. It's Jerry's world. Okay? It's not Jerry, it's not Cowboy Stadium, it's not AT&T Stadium. It's Jerry's world. We're
Mm,
living in he's the Walt Disney of the NFL when it comes to owners. So he does what he wants, you know?
uh,
He's still gonna sell these tickets. People are still
regardless.
gonna show up in those seats. You
Mhm.
know, they're gonna go to the playoffs and lose time in, time out. But he's not gonna spend that money to get a guy like Derrick Henry, to get a
Mhm.
guy like Davante Adams. He already spent money on his quarterback and his receiver. That's
Mhm.
it. That's more than enough. What else do you want him to do? I gotta fly this helicopter and land it on the practice field. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm concerned about. This is Jerry's world.
So speaking about the NFC East, your guy who you picked for Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jaden Daniels has his Commanders at the top.
Mm.
Do you see this continuing, or is it just there's no real tape on the guy, it's hard to game plan, or because at the end of the day, it's not like the Eagles are doing good things right now. It's not like the Cowboys are doing good things right now. New York Giants are the New York Giants. Can you
Hmm.
see this team, say by the end of the season, winning the division?
Well, I hope so. I hope so. So I could cash that ticket. You know what I mean? Really and truly, though, if he stays healthy the rest of the season, I don't see why not. I don't see how the Washington Commanders don't win the division and he doesn't win the Rookie of the Year. Like simple as that, right? They still don't have the best odds. They still have the third best odds to win that
Well,
division.
still smart to go for them if you haven't yet.
So if you haven't yet, you got to get in now before it's too late. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like, Eagles are on a bye this week. Dallas is playing in Pittsburgh, um,
Okay.
and that's a tough game, right? Pittsburgh coming off a bad loss, like
Yeah.
TJ Watt's going to be cooking. So
Hmm.
grab that now. But yeah, like I said, Jaden Daniels, I think it's a bit of both. Like in terms of people don't have much film on him, so again, they're still adapting to what he can do. Similar to like when Kyler just got into the league and
Yeah.
he was mobile and they
Yeah.
didn't know what to do when it came to the RPO offense. So it's gonna take time. But right now there's gonna be no stopping him at the moment, right? He just needs to stay healthy, make sure he's protecting himself, and the sky's the limit.
And the guy that got drafted before him, Caleb Williams, they won again against the Rams, and they didn't win because of him, right? He only threw for 157 yards, one touchdown. But where I'm going with this is his main guys. DJ Moore, three catches, Keenan Allen, three catches, Roma Dunze, one catch. How long do you think it's gonna take before these guys kind of blow up his spot, kind of like really get in his face because they want to get balls. They want to
Hmm.
be happy. They want production.
Yeah.
Like, do you see maybe a bit of blowing up happening and the media kind of being like, yo, you gotta handle your boys. Because Caleb Williams is a captain, right?
Hmm.
So do you see these guys kind of like not showing any love, not respecting Caleb Williams, or as long as winning keeps happening, they'll just be all right with it?
Well, I know well, for a fact, DJ Moore doesn't respect that boy.
Yeah.
They connected last week for a touchdown, and that was something, but I still just don't think the respect is mutual between DJ Moore and the quarterback.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if that's gonna be your number one receiver in DJ Moore and your quarterback not being on good terms, that's a recipe for a disaster. So really and truly, I think Caleb Williams doesn't seem like a much of a leader. The way he's kind of like he's always pouting or
Yeah.
upset or he's taking a lot of hits. So like he's almost flustered and frustrated. So he doesn't try to like, say like, yo, I'll get you next time, this, that. Like, he just almost sits by himself and just like, you know, takes it on the chest. But really and truly, like, I don't know, he's gonna have to figure it out or it's only gonna get worse. Cause once like Roma Dunze, a rookie receiver that you come in with in your class, once he's getting upset at you, then that's not good. The
That's
vet,
for
of
disaster.
course, of course the vet's gonna be a bit upset because he wants the ball, he knows what he's capable of, and if your quarterback can't deliver, like of course you're gonna be upset. But like he has Keenan Allen, he has
Yeah.
DJ Moore,
Yeah.
he has Roma Dunze, who
Mm.
seen from the tape seems like he's getting open. And Caleb's just not delivering. And like we all thought with all these receivers that he has, like how can you fail? But
Automatic playoff.
we know now because he's not that accurate.
Yeah. And you could also tell from like the way he was spoiled in college. It's like I'm not a dog. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah,
not
yeah,
gonna get after my guys. I'm not gonna be like my bad and say it to the whole O-line, say it to all the receivers. It's just all right, on to the next series.
yeah,
And that's like that ever since he's been in college. NIL guy, right?
yeah.
So yeah, he's always had everything right in front of his face, everything right there for him. And this is another situation. He's not capitalizing on the opportunity. All right. Last one before we get into our picks. Staying with this division, NFC North, Monday Night Football, Jared Goff, 18 for 18, 292, some
Mm,
tutties.
yeah, forgot about that game. Yeah, we finally
This
got a high scoring, a lot of touchdown games. It's about time, right?
It's about time. Jared Goff, another guy who's a top 10 quarterback. You actually mentioned earlier in our episodes that this is a team you see going to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Going to the Super Bowl, they have a guy in Aiden Hutchinson who's leading the league in sacks, 6.5. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown, arguably a top five receiver.
yeah.
Is this team, again, as long as they do what they do offensively, can you see, can you see the defense? Again, their defense is not amazing, but can
Hmm.
you see them being that team just as good on the defensive side that they are on the offensive side?
Well, I don't know,
Or will
right?
it matter, or will it even matter if they score 42 points every game?
That's another thing, right? I do think they're gonna have to figure out some things on the defensive end because again, if we look back to last year when they got knocked out, they couldn't stop the Niners, right?
Mm,
So that can't be the same case when we get deeper into the season and into playoffs. They're gonna have to figure some things out on defense. It can't just be Aiden Hutchinson, right?
mm,
Because they're gonna double team him. They're gonna find a way to roll away from him, or whether the case may be. They're gonna scheme away from Aiden Hutchinson. But the secondary needs to improve. They can't just be giving up 40 points, right? I know the Seahawks offense is pretty good, but like
for sure.
we're talking about Geno Smith here, right? Like he's a decent quarterback for sure, but like he was look out there looking like he's Tom Brady. So and that can't be the case.
Hey, he
So
did throw the ball 50 something times though.
he did 100%, 100%, but like everything it looked almost easy for him, right? They didn't even get I think they got 2 sacks on him, but they were able to occupy Aiden Hutchinson and Seahawks could have if they had more time,
Yeah.
who knows? You know
And
what I
also,
mean?
yeah, DK also had a brutal fumble also.
Yeah, that kind
So,
of changed the momentum of that whole game. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's true. It's true. Again, like the NFC, the Lions looking like the top dogs, like
Niners are still
realistically, but
there.
obviously the Vikings are undefeated. So you
Yeah.
have to give respect to the Vikings, best receiver in the league. And Sam Darnold, man.
Yeah.
MVP candidate right now. Sam
Yeah.
Darnold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get into these picks. Hey, last week our picks didn't go the way we wanted to.
No, not at
No,
all.
we thought maybe the Bills could give the Ravens a run for their money.
That wasn't the case.
Unfortunately, didn't work out. The Vikings did win though. So we're getting to this week. We're gonna start off with the Bengals and the Ravens. The over under is 49.
Mm.
Crazy. I think it's gonna be a shootout.
It seems like it. And I do like Ravens team total. If anything, I like
Mm,
them to score a lot. Will
mm,
Bengals follow it up? Possibly, so I guess that's why I guess they 50. I mean, who
Sheesh.
knows? But I can see this game being like 27-21, but like that won't go over the total, right? So, um, either way, I like the Ravens in this game.
Yeah.
I think the way Derrick Henry looks and Lamar Jackson in terms of running the ball, Justice Hill, I think the running game just gets it done. Um, and I think it'll just be too much for this Bengals team that's a bit inconsistent, and we don't really know what this team is yet,
Yeah.
right? They were able to beat the Panthers, um,
Light work.
but that's light work, right? And well, that's their first win. So it's hard to go against this Ravens team. Like I know it seems like a trap because everyone is going to be on the Ravens, and then it being a divisional game, home divisional game for the Bengals, home underdogs.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they figured out something, right? Beating the Panthers, but I doubt it. I just think the running game will be a bit too much for this Bengals team. Um, and again, the Panthers almost got back into that game, right? So for me, it's the Ravens. I'll take the points, and I know they're on the road, but I like what's happening with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson in the backfield.
Yeah, I was just going to mention Derrick Henry. So I'm a bit superstitious. I look at the Ravens, they're 2-2, and this season they just got number 22, Derrick
Jeez.
Henry, King Henry, the best running
Hmm.
back in the league. We just seen Patrick Mahomes injure his best receiver.
Hmm.
It's hard for it's like I can't trust that, man. Like I think it gets to a point where it's too much to overcome. I can't trust that. I think this Ravens team, they get to a Super Bowl. They kick the Chiefs off their hill, and I think they go all the way. This is what again, Lamar Jackson, he still needs wide receiver number one, legit wide receiver number one. But Derrick Henry is it doesn't matter if you have a wide receiver number one just because of how good Derrick Henry is and how valuable he is and how good he's been in what, 4 games.
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's early, but that is not going to change. That is
No.
not going to change. There's things that, okay, yeah, maybe rookie this, rookie that, but this guy's an MVP. Derrick Henry's been a Russian champ, went over for 2K yards in a season. Those stuff don't change. I think the Ravens, I know it's super early, I know, but I think this is a big game. They win this game, and I think they go all the way, man.
Yeah.
Really and truly. All right, let's get to another game. The Sunday night game.
No, no, we were missing one.
We're missing one.
We need to talk about that Buffalo
Yes,
Houston game.
yes, yes.
Revenge game, big
Hmm.
return of Stephon Diggs to I mean
Well,
I
he's
believe
not
the
going
game
to Buffalo.
is in Houston,
Yeah,
but Josh Allen can get his lick back going into Houston with his former number one receiver
yeah, yeah.
Stephon Diggs. So big game
Yup.
for Stephon Diggs possibly, and Josh Allen coming off a bad loss to the Ravens. This one should be an interesting one for sure.
And Bills are underdogs again.
Yeah,
Bills are
yeah,
underdog. Bills are underdogs again. I I think the Bills just got outclassed last week
yeah.
by
Derrick Henry, it
three.
was a Derrick Henry game, right? When that
Yeah, it
happens,
was first play from scrimmage for the Ravens, touchdown. They just got outclassed. They couldn't take the first punch, and yeah, it just wasn't a good enough effort. I think that the Texans are another team that you have to look out for.
mm,
Texans, yes, they made the playoffs, they won a game, but these are guys like again, Joe Mixon. I know he's had a great game. He takes a lot of knocks, but he's durable. He's a guy you
yeah,
could trust. But I think Stephon Diggs, obviously he's marked this game on his calendar. He's
yeah.
circled it. And I can see a 120-yard game. I could see a
Jeez,
150-yard game. Again, the Buffalo Bills, their secondary is not great.
not at all.
Their
No,
secondary is not great. And he knows like anyone that's marked up, lined up against Stephon Diggs, it's going to be a mismatch.
yeah,
So I think CJ Stroud, he's going to feed him the rock. And also, I feel like this will open up other guys like Nico Collins, like Tank
hmm,
Dell. So I
yeah,
do think that if you go money line on this game, I think you can get an early payout. I think this game will be another blowout, just like last week with the Ravens. And
wow, 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 wow. Well, I'm kind of torn in this one because I think Josh Allen will have a big game. But I do like a prop in this game. I like Josh Allen to score a touchdown. I like Stephon Diggs to score a touchdown, and I like CJ Stroud 2 passing touchdowns. So those three parlay them together. I mean, I like points in this one.
Mhm.
I really can't pick a side. Flip a coin, and
Really.
whoever it lands on, it lands on. But I do like Diggs and Allen to have big games.
Yeah. No, no, I think that the Texans, they're just on a roll right now. After you beat a division, again, it's always going to be tough when you face a division foe. Jaguars are not a good team, but it's a division foe. They got the job done, and I think now they're really gonna score points. They
Yeah.
got, I think, 24, 27 last week. I think they go over 35 this week.
Mm.
Sunday night football game, you got Justin Fields, first loss, but he still played well.
Hmm.
First loss against Dak Prescott. They're going to Pittsburgh. do you see the Cowboys as an underdog pulling the upset?
This one feels a bit fishy to me
Hmm.
because you see Dallas injuries, Micah Parsons out, DeMarcus Lawrence out, Brandon Cooks also out.
Yeah.
So then you're like, oh wow, there's no way that Dallas can get the job done in Pittsburgh, right? Going against that defense.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm kind of like cautious around this one. But it's hard for me not to take the Steelers in this one. Like I just don't see how they can't win by 3 points in this game. Uh, if it was a higher spread, 4.5, something like that, maybe I'd be more inclined to take Dallas. But I had to take the Steelers in this one. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. I would go Steelers also. Just think that TJ Watt and those boys after a loss, you can't really lose that game, but again, you're not
Yeah,
expecting Joe Flacco to come in the game.
exactly.
And
Changes the whole
he
dynamic.
changed the whole dynamic. And if there's a backup quarterback you want in this league, it's Joe Flacco, right?
Yeah, legit.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think this week, I think these picks are solid. I think
I
y'all
feel a
should
bit
really
better. I feel a bit better for
I
sure.
feel a little bit better about these picks, you know?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
y'all take those picks, look at them, and then we'll holler at y'all next week. You
Hmm.
already know it's Jayo Stole Sports, my boy Jay Lynch, spitting nothing but facts.
You dig?
Let's enjoy this weekend of football. Y'all
Yes, sir.
subscribe, y'all like, y'all tell a friend to tell a friend. Comment, you know what to do.
Peace.
We out of here.